Okay, I think we shall start now. Okay. Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Otis. Uh, Welcome to the first Assistive Technology SIG over the Zoom. And my name is Jonathan, and I will be your host for tonight. So our objectives for this event is to identify different apps that can be used to support individuals in completing essential tasks at home, in school, or in community, as well as those that are suitable for engagement in self-therapy within the home setting. And the second one is to discuss experiences in using different apps in your clinical settings. Okay. Later, please write your questions into the chat room. We will be glad to answer you during our questions and answer portion after all the presentations. And please remain for the group photo session if you can, as well as your feedback is very important to us. So I hope later you can answer the feedback form that will be thrown to you. Okay. So let me introduce to you our speakers for tonight. First is Sitaram Prabhakaran, or we can call him Prabha, currently working in AWA, LTD Health and Senior Care Acting Supervisor, Home Personal Care Service, serving adult and elderly population. Have been in AWA for 9 years, active member in Tech Task Force Group in AWA. Our next speaker, okay, sorry, I cannot. Our next speaker is Sundar, or Subramanian Sundar. We can call him Sundar. He's a senior occupational therapist from St. Luke's Elder Care. Graduated from India, working in Singapore from 2007. Have been working in ILTC sector for more than 10 years and has keen interest in engaging elders in technology-based activities. Our third speaker is Jasin. Is currently working in Tan Tock Seng Hospital under the stroke team of TTSH Rehab. She has been with the organization for the past 3 years, where her experiences had fueled her interest in assistive technology. Mr. Tan Chuan Ho, our fourth speaker, is the principal occupational therapist working in SPD, Specialized Assistive Technology Center. He is actively involved in assessing and prescribing assistive technology devices to persons with disabilities for more than 15 years. He is also involved in conducting 80 workshops for professionals, teachers, and parents, as well as being involved in consultation and projects related to the use of AT. Our fifth speaker will be Evangeline Mateo, currently working in AWA under AHPG Outsource MSH Hub, serving pediatrics cases. She's been in AWA for 5 years and actively involved in the Test Task Force Group and specialized dealing. So we welcome them. They can start their presentation. I give the floor to Prabha. Prabha, are you there? Okay, I think we shall just proceed with Sundar if you are around.
Yes, John, please make me as a co-host so that I can
Yeah.
share my screen.
Yes. Okay. Can you try?
Okay, the same issue just now I shared. I couldn't share my screen. I think. Okay, I cannot share my. Just now we tried. We are able to share my screen, but this
Hmm.
time I couldn't share my screen. Okay, can you make me co-host with my second link?
Okay. Uh,
Okay, is Prabha is here? You want to start? Okay,
okay.
I'll do first.
Okay.
Sorry for the technical errors. Tried not to do. You can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Sunda. I'm from St. Luke's Elder Care. I've been working in St. Luke's for 10 years. So I'm going to share about one of the app we use it for our elderly. So the app is called like Silver Activities. Some of you have encountered this web page called Silver Activities. They do have an app also. The app was founded by Nilofer Hussain. She's a PhD from NUS. She has done research in neuroscience in Duke NUS, and her co-founder is Rishi Gupta, who is IT engineer. So why Silver Activities? So Silver Activities, there are so many apps we can use, which is available from Android and app stores, but all of them have drawback, like either the advertisements or it's not relevant, or the pictures is too childish for the elderlies. So this Silver Activities consist of digital brain exercise, which is more like evidence-based activities, and also have a multilingual options. It is available in English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. Then it is more senior friendly app with the enlarged font, voice control, and also it's more locally relevant. The pictures all related to SG context, and also it got an adaptive intelligence, whereby it can, if the elderly feel the game is little bit difficult, it can, the next stage it comes to a more simpler. When we put in an auto level, if the client has like 6 cards of matching very difficult, then it comes to like 4 cards of matching the next round. So it can intelligence. Okay, so the measurements the Silver Activities give, when the profile comes, it will be like software measures, the engagement scale, the score. There is an option whether you want a score or you don't want a score. So one, it gives a score like how much they score it for each of the activities. You can see a sample. And also there is they will give a monthly report, profiles. They give like how much the client like the activity or doesn't like the activities. Okay, so it consists of this app consists of 6 components. The first one is the orientation game. This orientation is for the elderly to touch. There is a press button, they have to look for it and touch, or they have to drag. So it helps it give a orientation for the elderly to practice press and drag. These are the two most things is being used in the app. The second, the most important one is the brain exercise, where the activities has a lot of cognitive activities. And then the second is the third one is the sorting and matching. This is a free and easy, quite easy, like sorting. It's open cards. Usually memory one, the closed cards is the brain exercises, whereas the sorting and matching is open cards. The pictures all like have options like mahjong, national flags, the daily activities, the things like foods or objects, daily objects. So these are the things. Under the matching category, the activities is like no, that is for matching. For sorting category, it is either a flower or a fruit. Is it a coin or a note, like that? It's more with the Singapore coin, Singapore notes, like. Okay, the next is art. The art is more for like severe cognitive impairment, those who cannot follow in difficulty in follow like one-step instructions. Just they need to drag. Or it's like there's a new activity which recently 1 week ago they added, which is like a train wash. It's like a window. So when you keep swiping on the screen, a picture will come out. The picture is like Marina Bay Sands, all the local pictures, gardens by the bay, like that. So it is more for quite moderate cognitive impairment elderlies. Yeah, so this activity, after that, the other one is just move the stickers to the pictures. So it's just moving, dragging the stickers. Under the guess it, the activities available are, it's what is the name of the food, like few categories. One is naming the food or naming the vegetables, naming the Singapore dishes, like that. And then there are two options, whether you want to have options 2 or option 4 for the correct answers. It's like a multiple choice with the 4 options or 2 options you can choose upfront. Okay, that's guess it. Like sports also have food, drinks, vegetables, like that. Under the more games, it's like finding the spot the difference with more relevant pictures, but it is not the natural pictures, but it's a cartoon pictures with is more relevant to the elderly, not a more childish one. Yeah, so that's the activities under this. Then you can select the language, whether English, Chinese, Malay, or Tamil. And this is like you can create a profile for individual clients. And then you can see previously I saw, right, this is the profile, this profile scores, like that. Under the settings, you got a few options. Under the settings, you can have score option, yes, no, or timer, yes, no, it's free and easy, or voice over. So these are the options. Also, on previously I said like the brain games, right? So the brain games, these are the samples of activities: arrange it, search it, objects, solve it, arrange it. Each games inside have 3 levels: level 1, level 2, level 3, or auto level. Auto level is the auto intelligence. It can go once the client one activity, if they do it very easily, then it goes to a harder. Or if they find it difficult, it will come down low at a lower level. So each activity they do specify its arithmetic activities, like that. So arrange it also inside got 2 options with no options. Actually, it will come in an auto way, either ascending order or a descending order. So these are the activities under the brain games: match it, light chase is the, after the light, they have to find the memory. They have to remember the sequence and press the button. Okay. Search it. You can see this under the search it. They use the daily objects like watch, Rubik's cube, sandals. Yeah. These are the activities. So you can see all the brain games, the activities they were given with the symbols for the, if the elderly, they purchase on their own, they know what activity they are playing, mental arithmetic or memory, attention. So they know what kind of activity they are doing. Okay. This, by the way, this app is not under a App Store or Play Store. This is a customized app. The vendor will come and install into your own device, or you can buy along with the device from them. As they will provide a Samsung tablet with this device and customize it. So it doesn't available on the Play Store or App Store. So if you need further details, you should approach them. Actually, I would like to share the app, but due to some reasons, I couldn't share the app. Okay. But I would like to share the web page of the Silver activities, which also is a very good resource and it's free to use. Okay. This is the web page of the Silver activities. So it's all free. Once you give your email ID, then it's free. So when mostly my elders, like for home engagement, I give the web link to them so that they can engage the client at home. All these categories, like most of the, when you click, for example, if you click Singapore vegetables, it will become a slideshow with the music on, music off, and then they can, it's like total 52 slides, then show answer, pandan leaves. So you can talk on that. You can prompt them and ask. When you use a tab, you can zoom it to make it more larger pictures for them. Quite easy. So that is one. So this is the digital activities under the web page. The other one is interactive games. They do have a lot of interactive games. So this is all the interactive games. We use it as a group activities at our centers. So they project it to the TV, then they play. So they are very good in, if once you tried it and if you want to give a feedback, right, they will go back and change a lot of things. So that's why some of the things, like even this one, when I was presenting, so this 1, 2, 3 was feedback by me. So that when we project it to the TV, so when I project it to the TV, is very difficult for the elders to answer to it. So I said, like, if you have a 1, 2, 3, it will be very easy for the elders to shout like that. So they went back and then they modified it. Yeah. So that's all for me. I couldn't, actually, I want to share the.
Yeah, it was shared already.
One last one. Google Drive. Sorry, I couldn't share the app. John, I will finish with my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Sundar, for the presentation. Later, if you have questions, please type it in the chat. Later we will find time to answer it. Okay, thank you, Sundar. Okay, we will now give the floor to Prabha for his presentation.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me all?
Yes, loud and clear.
I'm Prabha, a senior OT working in EVA Health and Senior Care. My presentation today is on technology-based rehabilitation and outcomes in elder care communities. It's a short intro. The why we find the technology in using in the community sector. It gives the facilitate the smoother accessibility for the seniors and the rehab intervention. Also, it gives the accurate data and the information for the clients. Also, it's give the different perspective looking things from traditional ways also. Yeah. This project we call the name is TRIG, technology for rehabilitation in the community. This project is supported by Thematic Care and AIC and SP with EVA. It started in July 2012 and completed in July 2015. What are the special features of this device? Actually, I would like to share a few things. When we started this project, that time the mobile apps are not that much familiar in the market. So we are planning to develop some the apps with the support of SP and other collaborators. So this device is in the flat surface, laying in the flat in the table format. Previously, we think about in the tablet and the iPad version, but some clients are feedback that's too small for them to use due to some their clinical and other reasons. So we have come up with this idea, use the bigger version. Also, it's a touch-based multi-touchscreen PC. It's a 40-inch display screen. It also allows individual and group activity for their cognitive training. Then this device also have the tracking the client progress on the scores. Then the other one of the some key feature is it will be have the 12 level of the activities from simple to complex in every domain. Also, it will be generate to the next level once the client is successfully complete the each level. Yeah, as I mentioned, this some additional features of this device. Also, it also has the multilingual, fun and effective manner, and it gives the visual and auditory feedback as well. So the main thing when we train our seniors in this cognitive aspect, cognitive training, attention is very important. So when we develop this device, so one of the thing what we propose to the developers, the device can run under the dark surface. If the light surface, the device auto go to the off mode. So it will be because of the dark mode, the client may give more focus or give more attention to the activity. So these are the 6 domains we developed in this device. So this is the first one is the memory. There's a 2 colors of cards in the closed version. One is the green, other one is the red color. So the client can match the card. So if it's perfectly matched, then there'll be the card is disappear. So if it's is mismatching, you can see the client can see the different cards pictures. Okay. So I just share the video how it will running.
Start.
Try again. Try again. Try again. Try again. Try. Well done.
See that it gives the auditory and visual feedback for each activity successfully completed. So the second is recognition. Please see the video, you can understand.
Excellent. Good job.
Actually, why I am making here slow, right? If the client no need to touch the object, you
Excellent.
just bring the finger near to the
Good job.
device, so it will the sensor is
Well done.
activated.
Good job. Excellent. Well done. Task completed.
Okay. Next is categorization. Sorry.
Well done. Excellent. Well, good job.
We move to the next one. Next is sequencing.
Well, well, excellent. Well done.
Yeah, we can adjust the speed as well. Yeah, this is comprehension. Is look like some shopping. Like we need to train the seniors on the some shopping skills for the eye-hand coordination as well as for the cognitive level also. You can find from this video, please.
Good job. Well done. Well done. Good job. Excellent. Well done. Excellent. Well done.
Even if the client has one hand has weak, one hand is unable to function, so use one hand to participate this activity. The other one I shared earlier, due to some the infection control measures, so the client, even though he have some any skin allergy or anything, any other issues on the hand, so they no need to touch on the screen. They just bring the fingers near to the screen. The sensor will activate. Then they can manipulate or they can use these activities. Yeah. So this is a complex one, like a problems. The call is a problem solving. Will be more accurate. The client place the fragments more accurate only than the activity will complete. Otherwise, the activity won't be completed. Please watch the video. This is the basic level 1 only. Still, there will be 11 levels more. See, this one need two hands to use.
Well done. Task
Yeah, compare
completed.
the other previous 5 domain. This is a complex one. Even in this activity, in this domain, still 11 more, or it will be more challenging, but it will be fun also. Yeah. This one also, like, we can create the profile for each client when we enroll in this activity. Due to PDP, I hide some of the details. You see the right corner. This is the client profile, the client name. Then on the left side, there will be four languages like English, Mandarin, Hokkien, and Malay. So we can choose which the client is based on the language. Then also which domain we can train the client on a specific domain also. Then we can set the profile like that. Then after that, you can, once the client come in, then we can open the profile, let the client to be participate the activity. Then after a few sessions or a few weeks, then we can go on the track the profile. You can see the date, time, how long the client done the activity, how many errors happen. So which level the client has done. So all this, the progress are saved here. So whenever we need, we can print out and file in the client file, or even the family, we can pass it to the client family as well. Yeah. So this is the study that time you have done. Use the Mocha assessment tool. Sorry, there'll be some we can find there's a significant improvement. Improvements seen in the clients, like those who are participated regularly for around 3 months, weekly 1 or 2 session. So this is the on the Mocha scores, the different we can see here. Yeah. So this is, yeah, this is from my. Thank you for your participation.
Okay. Thank you, Prabha.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah. Shall we proceed to the next presenter, which is
Yeah, sure.
Jasin?
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, give me a second. All right, I'll start presenting. Okay, so I think today what I'll be sharing on will be like the use of commercial, either mobile or tablet applications for self-therapy that you can use at home for your post-stroke patients. So like, why commercial, like mobile or tablet applications? So like stroke rehabilitation often require like a stroke survivors to perform therapy, not just in like the healthcare facilities, but also often at home. So reported benefits of like tablet-based therapies for like communication, cognitive, and fine motor skills, fine motor deficits, is that basically they require little assistance for engagement. They promote independence of the individual to actually engage in their self-therapy, and also the convenience of use, and also the affordability part. So studies have demonstrated the benefits of using tablet technology in targeting post-stroke impairments and also neuro rehab challenges. as well as they have actually promising results in the terms of improvement of motor skills within physiotherapy and occupational therapy using iPads. So in OT Day 2018, in conducting some of colleagues, they actually did a resource booklet, not say resource booklet, but they actually put up some resources in terms of the mobile apps that would be actually useful for individuals to use in terms of their self-therapy at home. So unfortunately, my colleagues are not able to do the presentation today, so here I am. They have actually allowed me to actually use the resources here that they have gathered. So I'll be sharing some of them over here. I'll also be sharing some of the apps taken from this website called My Therapy. It's actually an NHS information database. So the My Therapy Health App Review website has been developed by the NHS and also by their patients. So basically the apps inside, they are reviewed by a mixture of an NHS clinical staff, patients, their carers, and also a digital safety team. So they actually have an algorithm of how they actually review their applications and how they actually sort it to different categories. So they provide information on applications, mobile applications used for various conditions, not just stroke, but orthopedics and etc. So I need to have some disclaimers before we start. So the following list of recommended apps is not exhaustive, and neither would they be suitable for all your stroke patients. So not all of the following applications have been developed specifically for stroke patients, in terms of stroke rehab or stroke patients, but they have been reviewed to be useful for the listed purposes that I'll be sharing below. So if you were to actually suggest any of these apps to your clients or patients, you will still have to review them first to determine suitability. And most importantly, these suggested applications are not meant to replace any convention therapy programs or any direct therapy contact that you're supposed to have with your patient. So they're not meant to actually replace therapy itself if you are to continue any therapy sessions with your patients. So in terms of the mobile and tablet applications, we have them in these few categories. So for upper limb motor rehab, so most of the commercial apps that we have now for mobile phones and also your tablets are actually mostly targeted at fine motor skills. So several pilot studies have delivered promising results in terms of the improvement of fine motor skills. So basically they actually use certain iPad apps, and then they actually demonstrated a significant difference in terms of finger tapping performance and also hand weakness and improvement in hand weakness after using those applications. So the general categories in terms of fine motor skills being used in these applications are tapping, tracing or swiping, and tilting, so wrist tilting. So some of the commercial apps that I could share with you here is Fast Tap. It's an Android app. So basically finger tapping as many times as possible in a prefixed time period onto this button on your application. So it encourages speed of movement and can be performed with one or more fingers. Then you have the other games like a Balloon Frenzy, Balloon Pop. Basically very straightforward games. One step, tap and pop the balloon. Books on finger dexterity, fine motor weakness, neglect works on eye-hand coordination, tap the towel challenge on your iOS, on your iPad. You can actually customize the difficulty for it, works on your dexterity, works on eye-hand coordination. So most of the games here actually are very simple. They're very straightforward, so there's not a lot of confusion onto how you're supposed to play it. Finger swiping, finger tracing. Like I mentioned, these apps are just some applications that we have reviewed to be useful. You may have other applications that is similar to this that you can actually advise your patient as well if you reviewed them. So you have games like bowling, paper throw, eye traced. Basically, that encourages your finger movement across the screen. These games basically encourages eye-hand coordination, finger control, and stroke sequencing. But the only issue is that some of these games can be very childish for adults, so you may have to actually review how you want to actually bring them to your clients or patients. So for individuals that actually don't really, they're more Chinese, you can actually choose the applications that actually uses more Chinese letters. So if you want to look into hand control, wrist or forearm stability or bilateral hand use, you can actually look at those kind of rolling balls into the holes and stuff like that. So basically requiring your clients to actually hold the tablet or hold the phone with both wrists and tilting the phone up and down. It can be done with both hands or it can be done with one hand. So depending on like what your client's usage and their suitability, you can actually advise accordingly. So I know I mentioned that I'll be sharing mostly on like commercial apps, free apps, but there's one application that I would like to share also as well. It's called Dexterra Fine Motor Skill under the iOS. This is actually a paid app that you can find under the Apple Store. So it's actually an NHS recommended app, and it's actually designed in consultation with occupational therapists. It was designed not for stroke patients, but actually more for like children to develop their fine motor skills. It consists of 3 main games that work on finger dexterity, fine motor control, and manipulation. And it's been used in most of the studies that actually look into the use of like tablet applications to work on hand dexterity and fine motor control. And those are the ones that found some improvements in terms of the post-stroke hand impairments. So this is the interface of Dexterra. So very straightforward, very intuitive, 3 games over here. So the one on the left shows the game with the crab bear. You have to pinch the crab to actually remove them. So then the one on the right shows the finger tapping. It's not very gamey, because it's more of like a training application. Then on the left, you have the tracing application, and on the right, you have the scoring. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So moving on, we're looking at our cognition slides. Okay, so post-stroke cognitive impairment is prevalent, ranging from like 6% to 31.8%. So most common manifestation of vascular cognitive disorder is like attention deficit, executive impairment, and memory deterioration. So some trials have demonstrated that the use of computer-based training developed improvements in terms of specific mental functions, such as attention and memory, in the populations of acquired brain injuries, which include stroke. So here we have some commercial brain training games. So the first 2, Lumosity and Peak, likely we have heard of it before, we probably tried it before. Those games are actually like, it's actually recommended under the NHS website. So they are games that actually focus on a variety of like your mental functions such as attention, memory, executive functions, speed. But unfortunately, these are all paid apps, but they allow you to play some of their games in limited ways. So for Lumosity, you can play up to 3 free games per day, but you can't choose what kind of games you want to play. And for Peak, you're allowed 2 games per day on the free version, and they can only let you play once per time. Then for the third, we have NeuroNation, developed by a German company. So most of these apps have they claim that to have been developed by a neuropsychiatrist. They do have some studies being followed up on them, so which I can share with you later. So, but NeuroNation is an application. Basically, the free version allows access to like a few selected games within each mental domains, and allows the user to choose the exercise they want to work on. The only downside of this application is that it's very prone to advertisements as opposed to the first 2. So I'll just show you a short video of what's the interface of each application. So over here, you have the Lumosity app. So this is the interface. So basically, you click on this, they'll ask you to try on the first game. So if you go to their game set, you can look at how the games go about. So the thing that is reported, like why clients or patients actually prefer to use all these like brain training apps, is because of like it's, what do you call it? How it appears to them is they have like various pictures, they're bright, they're engaging. So for this game, we are supposed to like remember the last animal that you saw in the previous tab. Then you tap it on the next time that it appears again. So, okay, let's stop here. No time already. Okay, I'll show you for NeuroNation. Sorry, very messy place. So you can see here that it allows you to choose the type of exercises you want to do, or you can just start with the first session it gives you, reasoning. So over here, you can see the interface. It allows you to choose like some exercises from different categories. The locked ones are the ones that you have to pay to use. So like I mentioned, this the downside of this app is that we have advertisements. So you may want to reconsider if you are giving it to a patient that have a lot of cognitive impairments that may not be able to like identify whether it's should they actually click on the correct thing or not. Moving on, no time already. No. Okay, so you also have the domain specific games such as like memory ladder, memory trainer, or matches. So basically, very domain specific. They work on like certain mental functions that is said that it will. So you can choose those for your patients as well. So for visual skills, so we have a few applications that work on your visual attention. So like visual attention therapy lit is actually developed by Tactus Therapy. That actually has a variety of like apps that work on like the attention, aphasia, and so on. So basically, it's something like it's like the usual pen and paper training tool that we give to our patients sometimes to work on their scanning skills, but this is just in a mobile form. So I'll just show you how it looks like. Off my voice. Okay. So they have the test version, they have the practice version over here. So unfortunately for the free version, you can't really change much of your setting. It's just basically one setting. So just move on to. So basically we have the instructions on the side, touch every B. So you're supposed to touch every one of the letters that you see inside there. So the thing about this app is that if the individual skips one of the letters inside, they are not able to move on. They have to actually finish it sequentially, so line by line, in the order that they're supposed to. So this is the test version, so it doesn't like stop them from like missing objects. But in the practice version, they can't actually skip. So we'll give you a very brief test results over here. So after that, you can actually view a very short report that they give it to you. So in terms of like locations of missed targets and stuff like that. Then you also have the practice version. So like I mentioned, if I don't tap on the correct letters, it will let me move on. So similarly, you have a short report here that tells you, how long does it take for the individual to finish it, how many errors were there, and so on. So, in terms of selection of like existing commercial games based on game-based applications for therapy purposes, so a quantitative study of patients and clients' perspective actually to the use of games in therapy was actually done. So they actually suggested 3 broad principles. So adequate logic challenge, user-driven, and intuitive interface. So basically, the game must attract the interest of your clients or patients adequately enough. So games emphasizing on logic and conceptual challenge are attracting to patients whose leisure activities have similar features. So for example, if your client is someone that does a lot of like card games in the past, or does a lot of mahjong in the past, you may want to choose like applications that relate to them the best. User-driven. So the players must take the initiative to play it, and gameplay is not restricted in time. So you may want to choose like games or like applications that don't restrict how long they actually use it. So like games that don't have like time limits, like 30 seconds or 1 minute, 2 minutes, stuff like that. So games that let you play on forever, essentially. So intuitive interface. So the interface should be intuitive and simple for people to understand, so to avoid confusion. So considerations if you're giving applications on your patients to do on mobile or tablets. So you may want to try to reduce barriers to use, like in terms of device, patient, and system. So I'm not going to say one more time already, so we'll move on from here. But some precaution, like I mentioned. So even though there's evidence on the use of like tablet or mobile applications on the use of upper limb rehab, it's still very limited to a small group of individuals within the trials. Evidence is not that strong. So in terms of using like computer-based training for improving post-stroke cognition. So while existing literature is still very mixed regarding the use of computer-based training for improving attention and memory, and suggested that they may not be helpful for improving executive function or global cognition. So let's say if you're using this kind of commercial apps, you should actually use it as a supplementary tool for your patients to engage in self-therapy in their own free time. Like I mentioned, it should not replace any conventional therapy or direct therapist contact, and your patient should be made very aware of that. So prior to suggesting the use of any mobile applications, so sufficient review should have been done to deem suitability in terms of their patient's cognitive abilities, their physical abilities, and also their social context if they actually need someone to actually engage in the applications or engage in terms of like self-therapy with them at home. So I'll just screen through the lifestyle apps. Okay. So in terms of lifestyle apps, as we mentioned earlier, some of our patients have like cognitive deficits in their daily life and still need to go about doing their daily activities. So some of the applications we have here is like Family Wall. It's a family organizer that have like shared calendars, to-do list, grocery list, family locators and stuff like that. Useful for individuals with memory deficits. MediSafe for your medications. So one of the highlight of this application is the peer support applications, which allow you to actually add a friend. And if you miss your medications, if you skip your medications, basically it will remind your friend to actually give you a call to actually get you to have your app or check up on you. So we also have the Can Plan, a planning tool, and also Seeing AI, a visual assistant tool. I'll just go very fast on it. Okay, so this is the shared calendar. So basically everyone, if you add anyone in this within your circle, within the application, they can see your calendar, so it'll be shared with everyone. This is the interface, the to-do list. If you purchase, this is actually a paid app as well. In the free version, you can actually share your own location, but in the paid version, you can actually look at locations of your other family members. So quite useful for those topographical orientation issues. MediSafe. So the thing about MediSafe is that adding the medications into the app itself is quite challenging. It requires a lot of steps. So if your patients do not have that much attention or have like more cognitive deficits, they may need someone to actually add it in for them instead. So this is the one I was talking about. Invite your med friend. So basically it sends an alert to your peers so that they can check up on the individual. Can Plan is a planning app actually. I'll just show it very fast. So you have it over here. Basically what it does is that it plans out. You can actually help. Yep. You can actually help your patients to take like videos, pictures. You can pictures of their daily tasks, break it down for them. So with each step, you can add in a picture. You can add in a audio feedback. So the thing about this app is is that you can actually customize it to your own language. You can have it in Mandarin. You can have it in like different languages, English. So basically based on how you want to customize it. Then we have the Seeing AI. Basically an app that actually helps you to actually convert text into like audio. So you can either point straight at a or you can actually take a picture of your document. Sorry to see my legs. You can play it, it will read it out to you. Then the next one, it will read your barcodes to tell you what kind of item this is. Then it will describe the scene to you. Okay, moving on. The other functions include like reading handwriting, that's one. It also reads like the faces of others. So yeah, that's my face. It tells you how far away the individual is as well. So yep, it reads facial expressions as well. Yeah, so this app is actually developed by Microsoft and is currently free on the iOS. So might be quite useful for your patients that might have acquired dyslexia after stroke or might have visual problems after stroke. Another app that I will share with for clinicians, not so much for your patients, but more of the clinicians yourself, is Therapy. It's actually an NHS recommended app as well. It actually provides information on the go on evidence-based practice related to upper limb rehab in stroke patients. It's demonstrated to be effective in increasing the use of evidence-based practice in clinicians and also have a direct relation. The study done on it shows that you have a direct relation to improvements in terms of service delivery within the NHS. So it's actually useful for clinicians to determine like appropriate interventions for like home programs if needed to. I'll just skip the video for this one. Show you the interface of it first. So the first page, basically, you have to answer a few questions first. So on like the onset of stroke within the was the onset of stroke within the past 12 weeks? Does your patient have shoulder pain or are they at high risk of shoulder pain? Can they produce any voluntary muscle activity in the affected limb? Can it be lifted up? Can it be lifted up? Can the patient produce any shoulder abduction against gravity or produce any elbow extension without gravity? So once you've answered all these questions, it will bring you to the intervention page, where it would actually show you a list of interventions based on their level of evidence at the site. You can actually filter all this evidence to like, can they be actually self-administered at home by the patient themselves or otherwise? So it will show you, or can it be provided in groups? You can also filter it according to your patient's needs. So for each intervention, if you choose it, they will actually have a video for you to actually go through how you should actually be doing the task itself or the intervention itself. So below it will show you like what it will explain the benefits of that particular intervention, who is that, which group of patients will be suitable for that intervention, the amount of dosage to provide the protocol, can it be done in groups, can it be self-administrated, what are some of the outcome measures, outcome measures, inclusion and exclusion criteria, and references. So similarly for your ES, the video, and the explanation of the intervention itself. So sorry, I may have gone over time. Right, I'm done for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Can I now pass the floor to Chuan Ho?
Hello, everyone. I'm Chuan Ho, and I'm one of the occupational therapists from SPD. Are you able to see my slide?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Today, Evangeline and myself will be sharing some of the apps that we have prescribed to students with disability in mainstream as well as special schools. These are apps that we find very useful, and we have actually used it in our center as well, prescribe it to students as well as to teachers and parents so that they are aware of such apps in the market. For today, I'll be sharing a few apps, namely the Snap Type, Keyboard on-screen keyboard, Speech Assistant, Math Playground, and Equatio. Okay, Snap Type. Snap Type is a very, very good software, a very, very good app. Okay, basically, it allows you to take a picture of the worksheet, and then instead of writing on the worksheet, you can actually type your answer on the worksheet. So it actually works on iOS as well as Android devices, and there are two versions. One is the free version, the other one is a paid version. So like what I mentioned earlier, basically you just take a picture of the worksheet and then you actually just type in the answer that you want to put into the worksheet. Later, I'll be doing the demo to show you the different apps that I'm talking about here. So currently, I'm just showing you the slides on the different apps. Keyboard is an on-screen keyboard. We also find that this is a very good keyboard. And because it has different keyboard layout, you have the QWERTY layout, you have the ABC layout, as well as you have the frequency of use that can be used with the switch to scan the keyboard so that the person can actually use a switch to be able to access the keyboard. So have high contrast as well as word prediction. It has auditory feedback and different font that you can actually choose from as well. These are some examples of the keyboard layout actually from the keyboard on-screen keyboard. Yeah, so you have the ABC layout, you have the QWERTY layout. Also, this is the frequency of use scanning keyboard that is available. The other app that I want to share is Assistant AAC. Basically, this is a text-to-speech. Yes. Yes.
Are you showing some slides?
Yes, I am.
We can see the slides. We
Oh,
still,
sorry.
Yeah.
Let me just. Okay.
Yeah, better.
Okay.
Yes, you can see.
I'm not sure where I actually missed the slide, but you know, the first app that I want to share is Snap Type. Basically, you can take a picture and then you can actually type in your answer. The second one is an on-screen keyboard. Yeah, it has different layouts. You know, it has high contrast, word prediction. It has auditory feedback. It has different font. These are some examples of the different keyboard layout that is available in the keyboard on-screen keyboard. And then you have Speech Assistant, which is a text-to-speech app. Basically, it's an app that you can have different categories and different phrases that you can actually put in. Yeah, later I'll show you the app on the iPad. So basically, you can customize all these categories and phrases, and you can also type in what you want to type onto the app as well. Math Playground, I find that this is a very useful online resource for math activities. It has a lot of math activities. You know, in addition to other math software such as the IXL, such as the Starfall. Basically, this is another software that you can actually explore with your students or even with the teachers and parents to find out more about, you know, the different topics, which include addition, multiplication, fraction, geometry, even they also have word problems as well as model drawing. When you go into the link, basically, this is what you will see. Equatio, basically, this is very new even to our center. It is a software that you can actually use to create mathematical equations and formulas by simply speaking, drawing, or typing the equation and the formulas directly into the devices. I have a video here. that I want to show you. Are you all able to see this?
Yes, yes. Turn on.
Okay.
Yes. Is
I
it
think, sorry,
playing?
video not playing.
Chuan Ho,
Yes.
the video is not playing.
Oh, the video is not playing?
Yes, it's not showing.
Oh, it's not showing on your side.
It's showing, but it's not playing.
It's showing, but it's not playing.
Yes.
I can't. Let me see if I. I want to share my desktop, but I don't see my desktop over here. Okay. How about this? Are you able to watch this?
Oh, it's just a big black square.
It's a black square, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Then I will not share the video. Basically, let me see. Let me go back. Okay, are you able to see the math playground on your screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Equation video, I will send you the link. You can actually watch the video. Basically, it allows students, especially in secondary school, to input in mathematical equations as well as formulas. Yeah, this is something new in the market. So we are also trying with some of our secondary school students to see whether it is something useful for them or not. The other thing is the math software that I mentioned earlier. So basically, to me, this is a very good software. Like for example, there's this thinking block software that you can actually have different videos as well as exercises for you to do. Are you able to see the screen that says Space Race 3000?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So for example,
let's get started.
Yeah, so for example, if you are doing word problems, this is a very simple way to reinforce to students, about word problems as well as model drawing. So for example, this is a question. The landing crew trained 25 hours on Thursday and 17 hours on Tuesday. How many hours did they train in all? So basically, the student will have to put in all the different labels, hour Thursday, hour Tuesday, and then, put in the different model drawing. And then, when they, and then they will go to the next part. So you have to put the information in. Oh, okay, if something is wrong, then they will actually tell you. So great job. Now you can add numbers to the model. Tap the check mark when you are ready. Okay, so basically I need to put it this way. And then, oh, okay. I read the question wrongly. So it is like this. Yeah. So basically, then you can actually put in the answer. Yeah. The next thing that I want to show you is the different apps that I was showing earlier.
Chanho, there's a
Jonathan?
black
Jonathan,
cover.
are you able to see my iPad?
Yes, but there's a black covering, one rectangular black cover. Yeah.
There's one
Yes.
thing covering. I can't see on my
Okay. Can.
end.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to share with you the Snap Type Pro, yeah, which I was mentioning earlier. So basically, this is my iPad. When I use my finger to touch the Snap App Pro, you will actually be able to see, you know, this screen. And then if I type new document, let's say if I want to take a picture of the worksheet, like for example, let's say if I want to take this worksheet. Okay, so basically you take the worksheet and then you can say, okay, and then you can give it a name, like for example, cycle 1. Then you add, yeah. So if you open cycle 1, you'll be able to see the worksheet, and then you can actually just type in what you want to, what is the answer. For example, let's say if this is a life cycle of an insect and that is adult, you put adult. If it is too big, you know, if you move your hand to the white button, you can actually make it smaller. Or let's say if you want to move it around, you can also move the answer around, yeah? And then you save it. So you can actually create different folders that you can actually put in different, you know, things, different worksheets that you have. Or even if, let's say if you have an elderly that likes Sudoku, for example, you can also, you know, put it into the type Snap type, and then, you know, you can have an answer, like for example, you know, you want to put this one as 4, for example. Yeah, you can actually make it bigger by moving the white button. You just save it. Yeah. If you notice, when I click, when I bring in the keyboard, basically this is the keyboard. This is one of the QWERTY layout keyboard. So you can actually see that, you know, there are many different layout. For example, let's say I go to the keyboard, and then I just choose an ABC layout, yeah? And then when I go to, for example, Snap Type, and it has changed to ABC layout, yeah? So let's say if I change this to QWERTY and I want the theme to be colorful, yeah? And I want to hear what I'm typing, I can actually do auditory feedback. And then when I want to type, you know, it's a different keyboard. And let's say if I want to type egg, for example.
G.
So I can actually hear, you know, what I'm typing. Yeah, this may be useful for some students. And the last one is speech assistant. This is what speech assistant is. So basically, yeah, you have different categories and different phrases that you can actually, you know, create yourself as well. Instead of like every time, you know, someone has speech impairment, you know, you want to ask someone, you know,
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, you have to type every word in. Yeah, so with this it's easier. And then let's say if you want to type something like, let's say, you know, you want to type, someone asks you, you know, how are you? And you're not feeling well. Then you can say,
I, space, A, M, space, S, I, C, K. I am sick.
yeah. So just now what you hear is basically from the keyboard. If you do not want the sound, basically you just switch off the keyboard, and then, you know, you will not hear the sound anymore. Yeah. So these are some of the software that we and apps that we actually prescribe to students in primary as well as secondary school. And I think it is very important to find the right app for the right purposes. And we always, you know, trial different apps with the student before we actually prescribe all these apps. And we work very closely with the teachers and the parents so that they understand how to use some of these apps and be able to use it, you know, when the student is in school as well as at home. Yeah, I'll pass the time to Evangeline to continue with the second part of the sharing.
Thanks, Juan. Now it's my turn, catching up the time. All right. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. So, okay, for my side, just like what Chuan said, we will just these apps are very useful for those therapists working in pediatric settings, particularly in mainstream community or in a special school. So to start with, I have listed here, okay, these apps are mainly to allow enhanced participations, improve life skills and behavior, as well as communication skills. So I just make it very straightforward so that it's easy for everyone to understand. There's a lot of apps available. It's just a matter of what goals you want to work on with your clients, and you have to explain it to the people around the kids who are handling the kids, especially the teachers and the parents. And then what good in these different apps is that other than you can use it in school as well in they can bring along and explain to the parents that they can use it at home, so that the child can consistently use it, especially when you are trying to train the life skills as well as the behavior of the child as well. So to start with, this Go worksheet is equivalent to SnapType. This is just recently, I think 2 years ago, introduced. And this Go worksheet is also can turn printed worksheets and tests into work all students can use. So the teacher can brings an image or takes a photo of a worksheet and customize it for the students. So what good is this in this Go worksheet apps is that it has a lot of functions as compared to SnapType, although it has different package, and it's more expensive than I put it free for trial, just like SnapType. They have also free trials, but then once you want to purchase it, more programs on that particular app, you need to pay extra. This is more expensive than SnapType because of there's a lot of settings that you can use, such as tapping, fill multiple choice answer, drag and drag answers, line matching, virtual manipulatives for counting exercises, audio output. So there's a text to speech, as well as the child can record his answer, and then just the teacher can just click the audio recorder. No need to type, no need to write. Yeah, this is later. I'll just choose which video, so that because we don't have enough time, I'll just choose you how to show you how to use this one. Abilipad is not yet available in Singapore. The reason why I include this one is just to give you an idea. There's an available apps in the market that is completely customizable keyboard and adaptive notepad. It is a key features including enlarging keys, word predictions, text-to-speech, audio recording, and much more. What good in this app is that you can customize the keyboard. For example, you have a dyslexia, you have a child with limited speech, so you can just choose a keypad, just yes or no, or a colored letters for dyslexia, or for example, a speech that is very limited, like physically disabled, you can just use 2 fingers, then they can just customize the keyboard into 2 keypads. Yes, I'll show you. I love to show the video, that's why I uploaded, but we don't have enough time, so sorry guys. Okay, next is we have this Otter app. This is sorry. Okay, this Otter app is very useful for those students in poly or in a university. So that this Otter app is an artificial intelligence for online meetings. This is very useful for notes taking to help during lectures, transcribe research interviews, capture notes from group study sessions, and process public audio data for research purposes. The limitations about this is that this is only available for Zoom users, and the confidentiality. That's why it's really it's advisable only for personal use or as a group. If you are working some research. So equivalent from what Chuan Ho mentioned about the maths apps, you can also find in the website that you can upload in iPad or Android tablet. It has a different apps of math that is very useful for modifications on how to teach your child when it comes to maths. So it is also a very good videos that I want to share, but again, we have very limited time now. Just to give you an idea, the first and then visual schedule app. This is very useful for those students you have that has planning and organization skills, or working with more on behavioral or more on the visual schedules, more on structure environment to increase independence and lower the anxiety during transitions through different activities. Very helpful for those therapists who are working in special schools. So I tried this one in one of my mainstream students, and it does help, especially for those who have very lack ideations of ideations of that task that I'm trying to teach with a child. So I learn life skills is very useful for those kids that you want to learn about the basic ADL skills. So who has difficulty in when it comes to toileting, when it comes to showering, the daily basic activity of daily living skills. Yeah. So other than that, there's apps of iTouch Learn Feelings. This is very good for the social skills as well. You can use that during your intervention. Touch Check apps is also very helpful for social communications. It has both visual schedule boards and reward charts, social stories, and training to reduce anxiety and build confidence for your students. So this apps is usually very helpful for the therapists for their interventions only. Okay. Now we have this low vision apps. This low vision apps, eye polyvisions, are for an apps that's very helpful for. Sorry. It is utilize artificial intelligence to help low vision people better understand what's around them. I'll just give you a very good example. Like for example, so whatever the handphone is, that they will describe it.
Coffee cup. Pepsi. Cherry. Pepsi Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola.
That's the A vision. The Android Ariane GPS is someone that it can identify those places that navigate direction using talking maps and innovative interface. So they can identify which places that the person with low visions that they want to go, they can identify which has an accessibility, like ramps or a bus stations. This is just a new kind of apps for low vision. So going back to Go Worksheet apps, I just want to show you what's the difference between this and the snack type. Okay, this is very interesting. Okay, do you want me to enlarge the screen? Okay, let me go.
Welcome to Go Worksheet, the app that makes printed classroom worksheets accessible with an iPad. Let's get started. Worksheets can be imported from a PDF or image file located in iCloud, Dropbox, or your photo library. You can also snap a picture of a worksheet using the camera or document scanner, shown here. Just hold your iPad steady over the worksheet, and the app will automatically that makes printed classroom worksheets accessible to the iPad. Worksheets accessible with an iPad. Worksheets can be imported from a PDF or image file located in iCloud, located in iCloud, Dropbox, or your photo library. You can also snap a.
Let's start again.
Welcome to Go Worksheet, the app that makes printed classroom worksheets accessible with an iPad. Let's get started. Worksheets can be imported from a PDF or image file located in iCloud or library. You can also snap a picture of a worksheet using the camera or document scanner, shown here. Just hold your iPad steady over the worksheet, and the app will automatically grab and crop the image. Now, give it a title and tap Create. Now that we've got a worksheet, there are several things we can do. We can add text to speech, type in a message to be read, or use the magic wand to pull text directly from the page. Tap on any of the orange highlighted areas to choose that text to be read aloud. Tap and hold on an item to edit, resize, or delete. can add drag and drop answers. I'll put the question box here, and then answer boxes over the 3 answer choices. Now, let's see it all in action.
My friends and I love.
Here is another example of a document made in Go Worksheet. Answers may be completed by using the on-screen keyboard for fill in the blank, drawing with your finger, or via voice recording.
There are 8 dots altogether.
Completed worksheets can then be sent to the teacher in a variety of ways, including email, AirDrop, through cloud storage, or using the included hand-in feature. For more information on Go Worksheet, please see the other Quick Start videos. Look for attainment on social media.
All right. Yes. Okay. That's it. Okay, let me. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. I would love to share the rest of the video, but I think we don't have enough time. But this will be shared, the resources, after our presentation. I believe so. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Evangeline, and the rest of the speakers tonight. Shall we proceed to the question and answer? There's one question here from Jaina. She said, may I ask how receptive clients, especially older adults, are to playing games on the various apps during therapy session? Anyone from the speakers can answer?
Yeah, so with I'm Sundar from St. Luke's Elder Care. How receptive actually with this Silver Activities app, we have installed with more than 170 devices in our St. Luke's Elder Care centers, and we did a quality improvement study with more than 100 clients overall, with 50% of MDC, which is around 60 clients, and 60 dementia.
Is Prabha or Sundar still around?
Yes. I think Sundar is talking, right?
Sundar is answering.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
is
the
it?
voice is very slow.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear that. Yeah.
Yes,
Can you
Sundar.
hear me?
Yeah, can you speak louder?
Or is it breaking?
Yeah, very low. Or
Very low. Okay.
yeah, very low, your voice.
Okay, now can you hear me
Yes,
clearly?
Yes,
can.
Sundar.
Yeah, okay. So initially we also thought as I said, like we had a quality improvement study, and we have the Silver Activities app in more than 160 devices. So each center, like around more than 100 clients have been recruited with a 3-month study. Actually, we just finished that study. That's why I couldn't produce the data. So like 60 elders, normal elders, and 60 elders with mild dementia. So when we interviewed after 3 months, more than 80% have never came across a digital device handling. So when we asked the questions of whether are you keen to try, or how you find it, most of them, 95% of them, like feel it's okay, yes, I like to try, like that. So although the staff feedback, some during the sessions, the client feedback, it's a bit boring, but when they're boring, I think they intervene to produce better activities for them. They choose because sometimes they were unable to choose. And also there's an option like based on the client interest, we can choose activities in the Silver Activities app, like 5 activities you choose, it come auto like that. So initially it was a bit troublesome. After once they get used to it, they like, and then they even asking for other times also wants to play. So it should be a user-friendly app for the elders, then it gives the interest to them to join.
Okay. Thank you, Sundar. Maybe while waiting for the next questions to be typed in, can we all open our cameras and we request Evangeline to take a photo for everyone, group photo. Can everyone open your cameras?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, okay, once I count 1, 2, 3, then you can. All right. They all look pretty. All right. View. Okay. So I count 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Me too. Yes.
Okay, smile. The most gorgeous smile you have. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Next. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Next batch. Ready? 1, 2. How about Hai Song? Hai Song is not on his her. Gabriel. Waiting, Gabriel. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Next group. All right, the last group. Yeah. All right, they're not on their video.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't on their video.
Maybe just take a snap.
Okay, sure. Okay, done.
Okay, now let's can you give us your feedback while we continue answering questions? Okay, let's give it the time first to do your feedback. Do this QR code. Your feedback is very important to us for our future improvements. Can you see the QR code? Then there's a next question. Okay, yes. There's another question. Given the multitude of apps out there, are there any key features or fundamentals about apps that we should check before suggesting it for use? Anyone from the speakers can answer? Yeah.
Would you like me to answer this question?
Yes.
I just share screen back to like my presentation first, so there's some things I can show on that. Give me a second. Where is it? Okay. Sorry, it's all the way at the back, so I got like. Okay, so oh no, wait, give me a second. There we go. So yes, so given the multitude of apps out there, right? Are there any like key features or fundamentals about apps that we should check before suggesting to use? So I think currently there's no like guideline or like a policy to say like exactly what you should actually look out for before you actually suggest it. So if you look into like studies that actually look into like using of commercial apps, this for commercial stuff like to actually prescribe to your patient or suggesting it to your patients. So I think the key point is reducing the barriers to use. So this particular study done, let me just move this away firstly, sorry. So there are actually 3 types of barriers that is mostly being identified, like device barriers, patient barriers, and system barriers. So device barriers being like the task itself, the app, the games or the application being too difficult for the patient to participate in, the bugs inside the applications, the speed of the applications, it's too slow, it's too laggy and stuff like that. Patients barriers, what about their cognitive functions? Do they have cognitive deficits so severe that they cannot follow instructions, or they cannot actually play with even like those very simple like one-step apps? If you're looking at just cognitive apps, how about their finger dexterity? Do they have like the finger motions to actually use the phone or the applications itself? Or are you able to set it up in such a way that they can use it? comfort level. How long are you going to get them to use it and stuff like that? Are they someone that can pay attention long enough to actually use the app for a long period of time? Or does their motor function, their muscle power allows them to actually hold the device long enough to actually use it? Will they complain of fatigue after that if they use it for too long? Other things like other conditions like post-stroke depression and stuff like that, is that something that will deter them from using the application? Do they have internet at home? What's their home bandwidth and stuff like that? If they don't have, would they be better off using offline apps instead or online apps, depending, like I mentioned, how distractible are they, or how distractible is the apps itself? If they are very easily distracted, would you rather use apps that is like very plainly designed, or would you use apps that is like a design with multiple colors, multiple sound effects and stuff like that? So you may want to look into that. And of course, system barriers, where you're going to use it. If you're using at home, unreliable connections to the internet and stuff like that. If you're using it in the hospital for them to use during their free time, you know, like their hospital infection control standards, your hospital protocol and stuff like that, you have to look into that as well. So this particular author itself, based on her study of like this kind of like barriers to use, they actually developed their own protocol to the use of mobile tablet-based applications for communication and cognitive therapy. So if you're interested, you can actually look into their study. I can show you the references later to see like some of the solutions they came up to in terms of reducing all these barriers to use. And the other study, like I mentioned earlier on, so like some of the broad principles suggested by this study, when they actually did a qualitative survey with both patients and clinicians on the use of like game-based applications for therapy purposes. This is what they found. These are 3 common themes and or the broad principles they were suggested by them. So if you're looking into suggesting games or applications to your clients, you may want to look into this as well. Yeah, I hope that answered your question sufficiently. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jasin. Any more questions?
I think in addition to what
Okay.
Jack has shared just now, especially for the pediatrics population, in addition to usefulness of the apps that we prescribe to the students, we also look into the access method. You know, whether, you know, the apps allow you to directly access it with your fingers, or there are other alternative access method, for example, switch and scanning, eye gaze. You know, some of the students especially in special schools, they may not be able to directly access the iPad. Yeah, so basically they may need another alternative access method, for example, through the use of eye gaze or through the use of switch control with scanning. So these are also some other important consideration when we actually prescribe such apps to the pediatric population as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Fan Ho. So I think there's no more questions. Okay, before we leave, final feedback. Please share your feedback. And in behalf of SAOT, AT, SIG, I would like to thank the speakers for their precious time in sharing their knowledge about this. And thank you for the participants who came in also. And I think we can end at this time. Thank you everyone for coming. And just send us an email if you have more questions. You can email us to our SAOT email. Thank you everyone, and have a good evening to all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone, for your organizing, and thank you for all the participants.
Thanks, everyone.
Have you all a good evening, good rest.
I'm doing the multitasking.